you, sweetheart.
Drive smart. I said drive smart.
Your daddy's a racer. Or maybe he knows my son, number 73.
They talk him up like he's the next big thing. He needs to be taken down a notch.
Wanna play? Bet I can take ya.
I'm a good father to her. Yeah, sometimes. It's a good thing she's young that she can't even tell when you're not.
I've been trying to reach you all night. It's Ray.
This is by far the worst incident.
When can I have her back?
I wanted to send you this message to let you know I don't hold a grudge against you anymore.
I was wondering if you could use a job.
My dad is taking me home soon.
Forgiveness.
But maybe you're not there yet, but
I know you mean well, but that's never gonna happen. Never.
Stop it! Okay? Enough of the God talk.
If you could forgive him, I know he wouldn't be so sad all the time.
Just be real for me.
so that's not real?
You'll never know how much this means to me.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Okay, hey everybody, I want to welcome you all to this edition of Bible News Radio. And you know, I want to thank you so much for coming in tonight, because tonight we have a really cool film that we're going to be talking about for the first part of the show. And then in the second part of the show, what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about other stuff. Yeah, but hey, I also want you to know, true story, we actually have a giveaway here. We have a giveaway for this film we're going to be talking about tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about the film. It's called Champion, and it's a movie about forgiveness, fatherhood, and foster care, and it's a Christian film. It was directed by my guest tonight, who is Judd Brannon. He has over 20 years of video production experience, and he has worked with Avalon and done some great stuff there, as well as the Kendrick Brothers, the War Room movie, which we all know about. And he serves the people of First Woodstock in Atlanta, Georgia, where he is the staff video producer. And I can tell you also he has a supportive wife, because wives rock, and two boys. And I just want to let you know that he's our guest tonight. And I hope you guys tweet this out and share it out and let everybody know about this, because this is really a great... I watched this film and I'm still emotional from it, okay? Just saying. So anyway, I want to welcome Judd to the show. Judd, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be with you.
Well, so, okay, I have to tell you, I'm a tender-hearted girl. And I just watched that film like 2 hours ago, and I'm still weepy over it because it was so good. So tell me how it came about.
Now, the little girl didn't have anything to do with that, did she?
Actually, she did, but really, the lead actor did, and then that big huge surprise near the end of the film, that's I didn't see that coming, and yeah.
Yeah, we've not had anyone that can predict that so far, so that's good.
Yeah, I was actually like really moved, going, oh my God, wait a minute. Because I have to tell you, at the beginning of it, I was like, this is so typical. I figured this out already. And I have to tell you that I didn't. I totally didn't. It was so good. So anyway, tell me a little bit more about you, though. I mean, this isn't your first film that you've directed, is it?
It is. This is the first film. So
well, you did a great
had
job.
Opportunity. What's that?
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. So I've had the opportunity, to direct videos at the church for many years and make music videos and that sort of thing. But about 5 years ago, the Lord laid it upon sort of our hearts to produce a film. And, it wasn't for the nation or for Tennessee or for anywhere. It was really for our own community, so that's where we the Lord called us to make a film for people right here in our own town, and it just sort of grew from there. And so, yeah, this was our first outing as making a movie, and it took 5 years. It wasn't simple. So, but we're glad to finally be able to release it on DVD so more people have an opportunity to see it.
Yeah. Well, see, I have to tell you, okay, my husband does film editing and stuff like that too for different projects and stuff. That's part of what he does. And I have to tell you, I look at movie trailers all the time. And your guys' movie trailer for this, having just seen the movie, I can tell you it rocks. because it doesn't give it away, and it's not necessarily the best part of the movie. You know what I mean? You know how some movie trailers they show only like the super highlights, and then you're like, oh yeah, I gotta go see it. That trailer was so well done, and I just have to tell you that
I appreciate that. I actually edited that myself, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you did a great job, and I'm not just saying that. I totally mean it, because I have a husband that does this stuff, and yeah. So everybody out there that you just saw the trailer, so you're probably going, what's this movie really all about? Yeah. So what is the movie about?
Well, that's really the story is about forgiveness, right? That's what's at the core of the movie. And so when they see the trailer, they say, well, maybe it's a sports movie. It's about racing. And there is some racing in there, and that's fun. But we kind of leave that behind in the first act, and we really focus on the main story, which is forgiveness. And there's a lot of fatherhood themes going on. So that's kind of what is at the center of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. And so is there a reason in particular that you guys focused on the topic of forgiveness and fatherhood and foster care? Because that was part of it too.
Sure. So forgiveness, yeah, the reason we focused on that is when we started this whole thing, we really prayed about what is the movie going to be about, right? So, I guess some Christian films maybe run the gamut and try to cover everything, but some are micro-focused, right? We've got Fireproof that's focusing on marriage, War Room on prayer, that sort of thing. And so we prayed about, Lord, what would you have us make our film about? And we really kept coming back to forgiveness. I think that, I know in my family, I'm sure you've never had any problems in your family, but my family, there's unforgiveness, with family members, that sort of thing. And even if we can't see it there, we can see it so much in our society, right? In our culture, politics, for sure. There's so many areas of unforgiveness. And we just felt like if we could help people understand everything that Christ has forgiven them of, that they're one step closer to maybe forgiving each other. And that plays out in the film, as you've seen. Yes.
Well, I can tell you that forgiveness played a huge part in my mom coming to Christ. And so I actually understand that pretty well. And maybe that's why it touched me so much, even though this was really a movie about men more than anything. The overall theme was extremely well done. But I do have a question. Do you think and let's see, how do I ask this? I don't know how to ask it.
You trying not to give anything away, or?
Yeah, I kind of am. Okay. Well, first of all, I should say that, to people who, there's always critics of Christian film, blah, blah, because, people like to criticize. And so one thing I want people to know, at least my experience was, this isn't a preachy film in the sense of like, they slam the word of God down your throat every other, film, shot or whatever. It's really not. It really isn't. But the whole idea of forgiveness and how it's portrayed here, do you think that some people could see it as maybe being slightly unrealistic? I guess that's my question. Because that is one of the thoughts that went through my mind, not as somebody who's a Christian and walks through forgiveness in my daily life, but just as somebody who might think as somebody who's not really in that world, I guess. Somebody in the world, maybe.
Sure. I mean, everybody's going to be have an opinion of what is good and bad. I mean, you can go and watch Batman and think, oh, that was terrible, and they spent millions of dollars and had the best screenwriters. So, for us, we looked at characters and we kept saying, how bad do we make our character? How far can he go and us still him be forgivable? And the answer is, we kept coming back to it. Just made the forgiveness story much stronger if we took it further, and not made him such a weak character, made him a strong character. So I don't think there's any, level we can go as far as that you can't be not forgiven by the Lord. But I think what you're asking is, we did research and we kept coming back to these stories of just amazing forgiveness. The whole, again, without giving it away, the whole idea that you could go and plead for somebody to be forgiven, and kind of, that's a real thing. We did some research, and those stories are out there where people have really went to try to get some leniency on behalf of the person that's wronged them, that sort of thing. So
that was very well put without giving it away.
I'm trying to, so, but those are, there's real stories are out there. They really are,
So you basically answered my question then, okay? Because I know, I think if all Christians were actually honest and we actually wrote out our forgiveness journeys with different people and stuff, I think that, we would see, if we put it on film, we'd probably see a lot of this stuff,
That's right. And, most forgiveness stories wouldn't work themselves out in an hour and 56 minutes, So I would say to that there's more behind the scenes that is probably not going on with Jack and Sean that you don't see, fleshed out,
Yeah.
In a movie format.
Well, one of the things that I noticed at the very end of the DVD was during the credits, you guys actually listed a whole prayer team of people on the credits, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that we started with. I didn't know how to make a film. I'd made videos for my church, but I didn't know how to make a film, and I reached out to every filmmaker probably that had made a film in the past 5 years, and Stephen Kendrick suggested, he said, one of the first things that we did, Alex and I, was put together a prayer team. And so that's what I did. Those guys were mentors, and I said, that's what I set out to do. And so I knew a man in my church that led prayer teams in his business, and I just went to him and I said, hey, would you be in charge of that? And so he did. And now he's the executive, producer, is the other producer on the film, Steve Holland. And so that's where it all began, with prayer. So every decision, whether it's the money, the script, the production, the post-production, all that is down to prayer.
Yeah, and I want people to know that, because that really touched my heart, and I know that God will definitely use that for sure. The other thing that I thought was really super cool was the casting. The way that you guys casted this, the fathers and sons look like they could be. And also the daughter and the father too. I swear they look like they really could be. So how did you guys find the actors? Were they all part of the church or what? Yeah,
good question. So it was kind of a both and. We did an open audition for all the roles at our church. It was important to make the film right here in our own community. So that's one of the things we want to do. So the foster mom, the girl that plays Sam on the crew, the lady Annabelle in the film, Logan's wife, all those were found in open auditions at our church, people from our own community, the foster care worker. And then you have some others like Andrew Cheney and Gary Graham, the two leads. We were a little more looking for sort of specific character types, and so we worked with some different casting directors to try to locate them. And Andrew, of course, had done Beyond the Mask. And so we had seen that. We liked his work. And then we were looking for that seasoned actor to play Jack in the film. And Gary, really brought a lot to the role. So,
yeah, they did. I like the river scene where they swam across the lake or the river. I guess it was a lake. It was a lake, right?
It was a lake, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now this movie also has a theme of lists, L-I-S-T-S, in it. And it's subtle but not subtle, and all that. So talk a little bit about that, because I think people might enjoy that.
Well, that was one of the brilliant things that our writers came up with, is this idea of a list, of having a top 10 list. And we kind of, again, without giving the story away, we around Father's Day, put a thing on our website where you could download a top 10 list of things to do with your dad. And so this idea of making time together was the important part of that list and that sort of prop in the film.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. It's very cool. I spend time with my dad a lot. Okay, so let me tell everybody too. There's also, if you guys go to was it championthemovie.com, you guys can see a whole bunch of stuff there, including the fact that on November 7th there is the DVD release. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've we released the film back in May and then have been working since then. Theatrical releases are very hard to get the film out there, especially for independent filmmakers. So the nice thing about the DVD and having it online is it just gives the film much more of an opportunity to reach people and have much more longevity than a theatrical release does. So we're very excited about it coming out on DVD on November 7th. So you can go to Amazon or Lifeway, Walmart, that sort of thing, pick up the DVD, and also not only on the film, but it has the heart of Champion, so it kind of tells about 15 minutes of what happened behind the scenes, the racing, and then has some outtakes, some funny stuff, that sort of thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Yes, and I actually love what you did at the end too with the time lapse.
No, don't give anything away now.
I didn't say anything. That was all I said. But you know what I'm talking about, right? So
I do know what you're talking about. And that, go ahead.
I was going to say, I kind of predicted that, but
really? Wow, that's good.
I thought I did, but even the casting there was good too. That was pretty cool.
It was amazing, actually. So
I was like,
we really lucked out with that one.
How'd they do that? This movie was 5 years in the making. Did that woman grow up or? Anyway, that was pretty cool. All right, now you also have this tied into it. The 40 days of forgiveness. That if people go to the website, you can sign up for a devotion. Is that right? I mean, is that going on right now?
So the actor that plays Wesley Sutton in the film, his name is Colin Brown. He reached out to me, and he said, "You know what? I had this. God's calling me to write this devotional for the film." So it was sort of a way of 40 days leading up to our theatrical release, and every day. We posted on Facebook, and in your inbox, you've got this little devotional with a quote, scripture verse, and a quote by an author or somebody famous, that sort of. It was this sort of a short devotion to remind you, hey, let me pray about forgiveness today. And so that'll be made available on our website, where you can just download all 40 days and kind of go at it at your own pace. And so we try to have some different things on the website, whether it's the 40 days. Or you can download the top 10 list, like I said, and there's a trailer and some other things on the website.
Yeah, and Melanie, you're not gonna be able to figure it out. Melanie, one of my friends in the chat room, she's like, "Don't say anything else. Some people will figure it out." No, you won't. You won't. Trust me, you're not gonna be able to figure it out. You won't see it coming. Just saying. I know, because you know how analytical I am. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Okay, so is this your production company, Judd, that you did this?
It is. I mean, I wouldn't call it a large production company, but it is. It was really this really was an effort of a lot of people in our community, in our church, people that gave of their time and talent. My wife, like you said, worked harder than I did doing the catering on the set, and so many people volunteered for the church to be actors, extras. To help with safety, security, all the different things that are needed on a set. And we couldn't have done it without everybody that was involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so awesome. And I mean, people don't have a clue most of the time how much is involved in making a film at all. So I think it's super cool. And some people were asking for social media links and stuff. I actually have shared, I think 4 times already on Facebook today, the link. I actually shared this out quite a bit today. I shared it out on Twitter too. So, but yeah, go ahead and share it out. And we actually have a DVD we're going to be able to give away. So if you did you put it in the, did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So if you retweet this, you'll be entered into it, just so you know. And then whoever wins, we'll go ahead and get them to send you the DVD. Okay. As well. So you'll have to the end of the show to do that though. So if you just retweet the show. And we'll do it for 24 hours so replay viewers can do it too. Okay, Judd.
Yep.
All right. So, is there anything else you'd like to share about it? Because, I mean, we could, you know, I have to tell you, the lead actor, the father of the girl, what's his name?
His name's Andrew Chinney.
Okay, I had never seen him before. I don't watch a whole lot of TV or movies, to be honest with you. I tend to make stuff myself. So, I have to tell you, you know, his acting was really good. It touched me because, you know, because he's got such expressive brown eyes. Or eyes.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, or eyes in general, but he really, I cried during this movie. Just saying.
It's a heavy movie. I mean, we deal with some heavy subjects, but we try to, you know, throw some humor in there and some light moments with the kids and that sort of thing.
Well, how did you find the girl? Because she was really good too.
So this was her first feature film. She was 9 at the time that she did the role. Her name is Faith Renee Kennedy, and we did auditions right here in Georgia. And you know, when she saw her audition, it wasn't like there wasn't like a choice. You know, she was the one. And you know, I mean, everybody knew when you're around her on set that she had the chops to be with, you know, these other 2 seasoned actors.
Yeah. Yeah, she was definitely a magnet there, for sure. All right, hey, does anybody in the chat room have a question for Judd, our guest, who is the director of the movie Champion, which is awesome, by the way. And you guys know me. You know when I love a movie, I just will tell you about it over and over again until you go see it. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody has any questions. And Melanie is back. By the way,
I'm ready.
I should say hi to all you guys here. Jennifer, you're here. Michelle, you're here. The Lovewell family is here. Thank you for coming in. Liz, hi, and Mia, Leanne. Hey, Leanne, you're here. Leanne, you would like this movie. I'm just saying. And I don't know your name. I'm not going to say that because I don't know if that's appropriate or not. You know how internet names can be. So I'm like, what is that? I don't know. But anyway, no questions? Okay.
There was one from Aaron.
Oh, I didn't see it. Okay, what was it?
Will you be making another movie?
Yes, that was going to be one of my other questions. So will you be making another movie?
Wow. Lord willing, someday. I don't have a script right now or money to make one, but, you know, I think that if the Lord puts it on our heart, you know, we'll do it. I mean, it's a big commitment. Like I said, we've spent 5 years of our life. And, you know, I'm not as quick to criticize, you know, because you can watch Christian films and say, oh, that's low budget. I'm not as quick to criticize other people's films at this point because it's hard. It's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time and energy from your life. And so I kind of applaud anybody that makes a Christian film, you know, for the kingdom these days. So
I think it's excellent myself, you know, and I mean, I do, you know, you probably know who Bruce Marciano is.
Mm-hmm.
You know Bruce, right? You don't know?
Yes, I do. I know who the name is. I don't know him personally, but yes, I know.
Okay. Well, I was talking to him not too long ago, and you know, he was telling me that you know, he played the lead in the Matthew movie. He played Jesus in the Matthew series. And he recently did a film called Allison's Choice. And he was telling me how in the Christian film world, even trying to get certain things into even Christian, like, bookstores and stuff, there's all this politics you got to go through. It's actually ridiculous. So, okay. Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, so, Lori just told me I can give away 5 of these people.
Wow. Send me one. I haven't seen it.
That's good. Okay, so we got 5 of these. Okay, so one of my listeners wants to know if they can get it in Canada.
Yes, I believe so. It's I don't know about the Walmart side, but you definitely can order it from Amazon. We met some friends, some people from Australia, and they sent us an email saying they had already pre-ordered it on Amazon from Australia. So I'm sure you can pre-order the DVD there on Amazon, and they'll ship it to you in Canada.
All right, cool. All right, so, and like I said, we just got, we were just told that we can give away 5 of these, you guys. So if you want to enter the win, go ahead, retweet this out right now. Or if you're on the replay, retweet this out, and then we'll do a drawing on this, probably, well, it's today. Wednesday? No, it's today, Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll do a drawing like tomorrow on Thursday. And then all that. There is no novel or book version, to my knowledge, right, Brandon? Or
that is correct. Not at this time.
Judd, Brandon, whatever. Who are you again? No. I'm sorry.
No, you have a lot of fun. I like this.
I'm trying to watch all this different stuff here. Okay, anyway. Yeah, no, there's no, but you can sign up for the 40 Days of Forgiveness devotional and get that through the website. So
that's right.
So, let me ask you this, in closing, because I don't want to take all your time up, because, you know, I know you have a life there in Georgia.
No, not really. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Do you know that the devil went down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal? Sorry.
I've heard that. He was in a bind, I think.
I know. I don't know why that came into my mind, but anyway. I've had a long day. And your movie was so impacting. It was impactful. Just saying, it was. It's really hard to talk about this movie because it was so emotional. And everything. And I mean, okay, there is one thing about the movie that's nagging at me.
Okay, all right.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so where the father, the father of the girl, takes drugs, and that whole issue there. You know, I saw that there could have been a way to expand on that, you know, but it was almost like it ended like too easy.
Sure. Well, you know
what I'm.
That's the other thing. It's like where do you? This is a big discussion when you're writing a script. Where do you focus your time? Do you focus it on the foster care? Do you focus it on addictions? You know, because if we had shown any more addictions, it'd be like, oh, okay, I know what they're doing there. You know, so it's like you have to like find this balance. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like we debated how many times do we see our character, you know, use drugs or whatever. So you had to, you know, and people are hearing use drugs, they're thinking like, you know, cocaine or something. No, it's not like that at all. So you just have to watch the film. But you know, I think that was a big discussion that we had. It's like, what do we focus the film on? And really wanted to focus on their relationship and their journey together. And those other things are just kind of consequential.
Yeah. So have we whet your appetite enough to go get the movie or go watch it or buy it? You can buy it on DVD starting the 7th, right? You guys can,
absolutely.
You can stream it, right, on like Christian Cinema and places like that.
You can, not yet. You'll be able to stream it in February, like a subscription on PureFlix.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, because we've had David on our show too. Okay, so, all right, that's cool. All right, so if you guys want to see this, you're going to have to buy it in a couple of days. Or you can win it. Huh?
Yeah, you can buy it or download it on iTunes, that sort of thing. Or hopefully by the end of the month, it'll be in Redbox locations.
What about Netflix?
Not Netflix. Not right now.
Not right now. Did you hear that?
PureFlix.
Yeah, it will be on PureFlix, David A.R. White's company. And I can tell you this, it is absolutely a family-friendly film, hands down. God is glorified in it. There's no bad words. There's no suggestion of anything inappropriate. It's completely awesome. So you wouldn't feel stupid or embarrassed watching it in front of a kid because there's nothing there, and it will touch your heart, man. I'm just telling you, your heart's gonna rip.
That's right. That was important to us to make a family-friendly film that my kids could watch. You know, so
yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna have to process this too, just so you know, because I'm serious. It was an impacting, you know. To me, it was just very impacting, and I actually have a background as a therapist, so I have all this, you know, family dynamic stuff going through my mind as I'm watching this too, and I'm thinking, okay, so you didn't write this, did you? I know you did.
I had a part in the story, you know, to the foster care and forgiveness, but I worked with two very talented writers in my church, two young ladies, Missy Reedy and Sarah Nadnett, and they helped craft the story. So,
well, tell them they did an awesome job because
I will.
Because I'm serious, you know, I I'm gonna want to watch. I want to watch this again, actually, to be honest with you.
Awesome.
You know, because, yeah, just because. Oh, and I just should say one other thing. You have a whole thing here about race car driving and stuff. That was really super cool because it just was really super cool. And that, I mean, that had to be, how did you guys secure a place to actually do that? I guess that's my question, because...
Well, the great thing about that is that racetrack is here in my town. So when we set out to make the movie, we wanted to make a movie for our town. And so we had this racetrack up the street. I could hear the cars. I'd never been, but I could hear them from my house 10 miles away. They're so loud. And we, I just went up there and started visiting the track. And I met the owners. I found out they were believers. And there was, 3,000 people here on a Saturday night. And it was exciting and loud and dirty. And just, it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of energy. And I didn't know that much about it, but dirt track racing is in its numbers is bigger, I think, than NASCAR because it's just all over the country. And so, and it just made sort of a unique backdrop for the story. The story's about so much more, but it was just it was kind of a lot of fun. And we shot real races on Saturday nights. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell that wasn't like some canned footage you threw in from video blocks. You know what I mean? I mean, I could tell it was real. I mean, it was legit stuff. So, I mean, so it was really good. And, I loved it personally. And, I want people to go see it and get it. So there you have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought you did a great job, and I will continue to connect with you because I'm looking forward to seeing what God does in the future with you. So
thank you so much.
If I could, I'd give you a total hug. I'd be like, Judd. There we go. You know what? Hey, the topic of forgiveness, the church doesn't talk a lot about, which is stupid if you think about it. But it was really super good. So people are saying here, you had me at Georgia and Kendrick's. And other people are talking about how they definitely want to see it now and all that other stuff. So congratulations. Well done.
Thank you so much.
All right. So I will continue the show now by thanking our sponsor, Ariel Ministries. And let you know that if you guys go to ariel.org, you can save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News right there. You guys see that there on the screen. Right now we're actually talking about the book Life of the Messiah from a Messianic Jewish Perspective, the abridged version, which is on sale now here in November. You can actually save 20% with us. It's 15% on their website, but if you put in Bible News, you can save 5% more, just so you know. And all that. So I am going to recommend that you do that. And also I want to thank you for being a pillar of our community. Those of you out there who are pillars of our community, thank you. I actually posted a very interesting video in our pillars group today. You guys need to weigh in on it. But if you're not a pillar of our community, let me just tell you that you can go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give and donate $25 a month or more. And that would be really, really super helpful to us because, just because, it would show us that you appreciate what we do if you're getting benefit and, it helps support what we do. So I appreciate that. And I get to continue to bring you guests like Judd Brandon, who I messed his name up during the interview, as you can tell. Can you believe I did that, people? I can't believe I did that. Anyway, because, there's a lot of people who use God's gifts, and, it took 5 years to do that. That was awesome. I'm just telling you guys. It's the film goes in a couple different directions that you're not even going to see happening, and I'm just going to tell you that right now. I wouldn't... if I thought it was crap, I would tell you. I mean, just put it that way, but it's not. It's not. It really isn't. It's wonderful, actually, and I'm actually very moved by it. So
But you're not stuck, right?
No, I'm not, which is why I should probably talk to you about the Unstuck Club. Thank you for that, Bareface. I'm sorry, I was getting all emotional thinking about the film. Yeah.
The Unstuck Club is your weekly inspiration to move you forward, and it is free. Just go to bit.ly/Unstuck Club. Unstuck Club in all caps, bit.ly/Unstuck Club, and you'll find videos there, weekly videos that your sweet and lovable host Stacy Lynn does to keep you moving forward in life. And if you want to go a little further, there is a class there on the same platform, Teachable, called Stop Lying to Yourself. Your secrets are not secret. What you are missing because of your secrets. It's an in-depth study on the life of David and how he kept his sins secret, or so he thought, and then they kept him from many blessings of the Lord until he was able to come clean with his sinfulness and his secrets. And so check it out. That course is only $29, and people said it's worth way more. So if you go to here in, well, for those of you watching on Periscope, in the Periscope profile, there's the Linktree link, linktr.ee, I think it is, Linktree. Anyway, that'll take you to everything Bible News Radio, social media, and then the Bible News Radio classroom, all those sorts of things. And so for those of you listening in audio on Spreaker, then yeah, well, I'm trying to think the easiest way to tell them to get to the Bible News Radio classroom.
Actually, if they just use the link in our Periscope thing,
that's what I just said. But you know, if they're not on Periscope, you know, they'll have to.
It's listed there. It's listed there.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're not.
What?
If they're not on Periscope, then.
If they're on Spreaker.
Yeah.
Then they can just go to our. They can message me on Twitter. That's all you got to do right there, people. It's just message me on Twitter. Yeah, no, I have to tell you this movie is very impactful. Yeah, BibleNewsRadio.com is a good place to go, but we're not really updating it right now. We're working with Greg to get a new site up and running, and we haven't actually been helpful to Greg lately either, because he needs stuff, and we haven't had time to give him everything he needs. But yeah, if you guys want a copy of this movie, though, tweet this out. You'll be entered to win a copy of it, and I don't think they care where they have to ship it. So yeah, so just tweet it out. And
so 5 winners, right?
There'll be 5, yeah. They just told me I could do 5, which I thought was that's very nice of them.
Yeah, and drawing during our show tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Or are we doing earlier in the day?
Well, it depends on if you want to play pickleball tomorrow.
Do you want to play pickleball?
Yeah. I mean, I played a couple hours today. It was good. I saw you, Jason. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it.
All right. So...
Yeah, you know, I wish I could talk. What?
I'm going to say, I suppose those listening to audio, they may be a little hard pressed to. Well, they have an opportunity to listen to tomorrow. The hashtag is BNR Champion. Hashtag BNR, as in Bible News Radio Champion. And I suppose they could tweet that hashtag out as well to be entered, right?
Yep.
They can now. I said it.
Yeah, you can. You guys. You know, the topic of forgiveness is an interesting topic. And relationships in general. And, you know, when it's depicted in a film like this, I personally, you know, I'm trying not to ruin this film for you, but but it's interesting because, you know, and as I was thinking about it, I was thinking about how great, you know, God's love for us is, right? You know, he really loves us a lot. And we don't even grasp it most of the time. I mean, we were kind of like, what? Yeah, okay, yeah. For God to love the world, blah, 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 blah. You know, I mean, seriously, that's how we kind of take it, right? But when you see some grand act of forgiveness given to somebody for something that you would never think in a million years that they should get forgiven for, it's very impactful. And I know Bareface doesn't like that word, but build a bridge and get over it. It really is, you know. And so that's one of the things this movie has done for me is it's actually how it's having me reflect on who have I forgiven and and who has forgiven me, you know, for stuff that I have done, you know, it's either to them or inadvertently. And I think, you know, there are probably countless ways that we don't. And yet, you know, it's interesting that of all the junk pushed subconsciously through films, this could be refreshing. It's actually a very refreshing film. It really is. I mean, the story, there's so many good storylines in it, and I was wanting more, actually, to be honest. I wanted him to draw out stuff, because I could see all this stuff, like, going a gazillion more miles. But it was a 2-hour film, and, you know, like you said, it took 5 years to make, which is that's not a short time. That's a long time to make a film. And it's an independent film, right? I mean, so how much more? So, and yet there will be people who will get it. You'll get it, and you'll go, ugh, can't believe you recommended that. That was so blah, blah. And I'll look at you and just want to smack you one, because I'm thinking you missed the whole point. If that was the point of what you were going to, find wrong or the criticalness of it all. It's refreshing to have a good tool, because God has given us the ministry of reconciliation. And, I think that one of the biggest offenses one of the biggest sins, rather, that probably is in the church is the sin of offense, or offense, depending on how you say it, where you're at in the world. People, it's the bait of Satan. Hey, if I can offend you in some way, okay, and then I'll go ahead and be mean to you behind your back or to your face, and I'll tell you off, etc. Blah blah, and then the root of bitterness gets in there. Next thing you know, your life, you're a lonely sap, and you won't ever let anybody in because you've been hurt so bad. And yet that's not what God calls us to. If Jesus did that, think about it. If Jesus decided to not forgive everybody that ever hurt him, we would be in a really bad spot. You know what I mean? And I think if we actually looked at who Christ really is, if we were to literally sit down with Jesus face to face and look at him and say, why? I know for me, not only would I be on my face, but I'd be like, why? Why did you do it? I just don't get it. You died because of all the bad, horrible, rotten stuff that I did. And you know me. I mean, there are people who think they know me, and there are people who really know me. And some of the people who think they know me, they wouldn't die for me. You know what I mean? But God, he did. Jesus did. He did, and, I mean, I know people. I heard a story a long time ago. This will impact you. Listen to this. This was actually a friend of mine. I could not believe it when they told me this. They actually had a mother who literally wrote down every single time they did something wrong. Okay. So imagine if that was your mother. Your mom literally made a list of all the stuff you did wrong, right? Your whole life. She recorded everything you ever did wrong and put it in a book. And I mean, they obviously didn't have a good relationship, but when she died, that book was revealed, and the child, which was a daughter, was able to see it. And, you know, and the tie-in to that was kind of like, why? You know, in 1 Corinthians 13, one of the fruit of 1 Corinthians 13, it says love is patient, it's kind, it's gentle. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. It's specifically listed in there. And yet my friend's mom did that. And I thought, that's crazy. If Christ kept a record of all of our wrongs, of everything that we did, we would be toast. You know? And that's the great thing about biblical forgiveness, because the Bible says, I believe it's in Psalm 103, it might be in a different psalm, but as far as the east is from the west, so far as he removed our transgressions from us, he's cast it into the sea, which is really kind of crazy to think about, but I believe it. When Christ looks at you, if you're his, he doesn't see your sin. He sees his son. He sees himself. You know, that refining fire that you're going through right now, where he is molding you and polishing up the bronze, you know, making you beautiful, burning you and molding you into his image. That's what he's doing. You know, that's what that's all about. And it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy in a good way. Brandon and crew are going to have major eternal rewards from this. Yeah, I think so. I think they will, definitely. As will you, from the thing that you do, you know, the things that I do. The financial reward here is nothing compared to the reward in heaven, you know. And not only the reward in heaven, just being able to be in heaven because I accept what Jesus did for me, but also being like Jesus and giving that love and forgiveness to other people, even when they don't ask for it, you know. Even, you know, and that's my testimony with my mom. Those of you who haven't heard that testimony, you know, in 3 days, it will be the 15th anniversary of my mom's death. And so I always think about my mom a lot during November and at the end of November, and because her birthday's in the middle of November, and of course there's Thanksgiving, and, you know, November's a emotional month for me anyway. But, you know, my mom was not a nice person. I mean, she just wasn't. She was one of probably the meanest people that I've ever known. One of the most manipulative, bitter, angry, unforgiving people on the planet. And I'm not lying to you about that. It's absolutely true. But when it came to the end of her life, and, you know, she had stage 4 cancer, and I walked into a hospital room with her as thin as a rail and diarrhea coming out of her butt because it was all over the bed, you know, as a 30-something-year-old, kind of looked at that, and you know, God gave me a heart of compassion, a tender heart, a very tender, mushy, soft heart. You know, sometimes I wish it wasn't so soft-hearted, but he gave me that. And, you know, and despite all the wickedness that she inflicted on me, I looked at her and I saw a pathetic, helpless person. And I'll never forget it, because I looked at her and I went up to her and I said, "Mom, I forgive you for what you did." She never confessed it to me. She never admitted it. She never repented of it in the way that we think of repentance. But I told her I forgave her. And I meant it. I did mean it. And the next day she became a Christian, and that was after 20 years of praying for her. So, you know, I see that direct correlation between, you know, forgiveness and all that. And then when she died, you know, she became a Christian, and then near the end of her life, as she was being transformed into Christ's image, I saw fruit from her life. I saw her change, you know, and Bareface can testify that, because he was there. He saw it. If he saw it, then, you know, I was like, okay, this is real. Because I was kind of like, what? Are you serious? You actually said that? You know. And she fought with me about other things, but, you know, I mean, I remember one time she I had taken her to the grocery store to get groceries, and I bought her Pepsi. She loved Pepsi, right? My mom loved Pepsi. And anyway, and weirdest thing, you know, we came home and we're going through the receipt, and she nitpicked something on the receipt, and I can't remember what it was, but I was like, Mom, that isn't like actually what happened. You told me to get this. This is what I got. This is the issue here, blah, blah, blah. And she wanted to get in a big fight about it. And I'm like, are you serious? I mean, seriously. And I actually stood up to her and I said, look, you know, you're dying. Do you seriously think that I want to fight with you right now about this stupid receipt and your thingy about Pepsi or whatever it was? And my brother, he was sitting to the left of me because he lived with my mom at that point. And you could have, I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, you said she's dying. I'm like, yeah, hello, let's get out of denial here. You know? I mean, it's crazy. It's like, yeah, you got stage 4 cancer. You're on your way out, just so you know. So, let's deal in reality here before you go. I didn't quite say it that way, but I kind of wanted to, you know? You know, and then I remember on her deathbed, you know, one of the last things I told my mom was that I would share her testimony with people all over the world, and I have. Didn't think it would be on Periscope or the internet or any other way for that matter. I actually had visions different, a completely different vision is actually what I had. But I think about her, and I think about 15 years later and who God made me as a result of her. And I miss her. I'm glad I forgave her. So, if there's somebody that you need to forgive, don't be short-sighted about it. Think long and hard, and then do it, you know, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You never know when somebody you really love is going to be gone. You know, it's the same thing with my dad. You guys know I take care of my dad. My dad was a deadbeat father, ignored me my whole life. Thanks for putting that up there on the screen. That's pretty funny. Not meant to make me laugh, but for some reason it does. I don't know why, but anyway. You know, same thing with my dad. You know, my dad wasn't there. He didn't fight for us as kids, and if he had been a part of my life, it would have been a whole lot less abuse for me. I can tell you that right now. But God, in his infinite wisdom, at least in my life, brought my dad back into my life 40 years later, and not the man that he can't take care of me. You know, he's got dementia, he wears diapers, and he's got all, you know, I mean, he's got Parkinson's, he can barely walk. I mean, he's 89, you know. He's doing well for an 89-year-old guy, but still, you know, I looked at him and I'm like, how can I be mad or angry at somebody so pathetic? You know? I mean, seriously. And you know, the thing is we don't know what other people go through, right? We don't know. I mean, I can share my life story a million times, but you'll never know exactly what I go through. Just like you don't know, or I don't know what you went through, right? Some of you have lost your parents early. Some of you still have relationships with your mom and your dad. Some of you have relationship issues with your friends or your brothers or sisters. You know, this I know though, and I'll end the show with this because I have an appointment in a little while. This I know. As followers of Christ, if we receive him, he gives us the forgiveness that we desperately need, and then he asks us to be ministers of reconciliation and give the forgiveness to people that we need to give it to. And it's not easy all the time. In fact, sometimes it royally sucks to have to do it. Let's just be honest, right? But you know what? In the end, it's worth it. And I'm going to tell you something. This film, the way that they wrote this film, it really makes you think. And it's really not what you think. I don't know. I mean, 25 minutes into the film, I'm like, yeah, I got this figured out. I didn't have it figured out. I'm just saying, people, this was an excellent film. So you have a chance to win a free copy. So tweet this out. You can get it. I'll pick some winners. But, you know, just do it. Do it. Psalm 51 verse 6 says, God says, surely thou desires truth in the inner parts. In the inner parts, he makes us to know wisdom. You know, Christ is wisdom. And if you need wisdom, ask God for it so that he'll give you the wisdom to know how to deal with the issues that you're dealing with, right? How to be unstuck, I guess is a good way to put it. You can also join the Unstuck Club too. And just consider that pain is momentary. I think love is eternal, right? Real love is, you know. And you can know that when I tell you I love you, I really mean I love you. I don't just say it to people. I actually mean it. So, there you have it, people. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what time our show is going to be on, because we really haven't figured it out for Thursday yet. But we'll let you know on social media and all that. So if you're somebody who loves me and I've hurt you, I ask you to forgive me. If I'm somebody that has hurt you, I totally ask you to forgive me. If you have hurt me, I forgive you. And let's move forward. Okay? All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be bold, stand up, and go with God because he loves you.